It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for hanging out with me today for another song reaction and breakdown. The song we're listening to today is going to be a fun one, I think. We made it to Friday, and as in Fridays past, that means that today we are listening to a long, complicated piece of music. And I'm excited to be coming back to the band Symphony X for the second time on the channel. And this time we are including their epic song, The Divine Wings of Tragedy. So this was their third studio album that was released in 1996. This is the title track to that album. And I've looked at some of the lyrics to this and have read a little bit about it. It seems like divine forces are at work here because that's in the title. But there's going to be a big time war, and I think that this is kind of good versus evil, and we'll see who wins. As some of you may know, I was taking a little bit of time off last weekend. We ended up getting some really good bourbon, and so I have some new drinks to include on the channel today from the mothership, from Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. I have a little Buffalo Trace glass. You'll notice I have a little ice cube in there. I like my bourbons with a little single ice cube, and we've got a decent pour on that. So y'all, cheers, and we're gonna enjoy some whiskey on a Friday afternoon. Not whiskey, bourbon on a Friday afternoon, and enjoy this piece, The Divine Wings of Tragedy by Symphony X. I'm excited to listen. So are y'all ready? It's a long song, 20 minutes. So grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you want to do, and let's take a listen. Here we go.
On the edge of paradise, tears of woe fall cold as ice.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Cool. We're starting with the choir piece. All right, I love it. I'm going to start over because that threw me for a loop. That was, look behind door number C and see what happens. Here we go.
On the edge of paradise,
back and forth between F minor and F major.
woe fall cold as ice. Hear my cry, renounce have you thy name.
Relative major, A flat.
Eternal is my pain.
Sounds familiar. Yeah, it's in the wrong key though. Yeah. This is lifted from Bach. Half cadence on G. Okay, let's talk about this, shall we? How much time? It was 1 minute and 45 seconds. I didn't expect that at all. That was actually quite well done. Good on them. That is from Bach, the B minor Mass. If I'm not mistaken, gosh, it's been a while since I've sung that and a while since I looked at it, but I think That's from the Credo section, and the Confiteor towards the end. Trying to remember what that text is. I actually did my doctorate. My doctoral thesis was the writing of a major work, and it was a Requiem Mass. And so I've looked at these Latin texts for several years. Confiteor, I think, is the I confess one baptism for the forgiveness of sins and look for the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen. That's the end of the Credo. So that's what the Bach lyrics would have been, but they're putting in eternal is the pain that leads me to the thrones of temptation. Fascinating. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's from the Bach B minor Mass, the ending of towards the end of the Credo, not the very end, but I think like the one there's a fugue, a faster fugue, 5-part fugue if I remember right, and then it goes into this little sort of section that keeps winding over the top of itself, as only Bach can. Apparently, so can Symphony X if they just take that and move it into a different key. Totally cool, though. We're going to back up a little bit and keep rolling. It's a half cadence in G, and it goes into C. Now we're doing Mars, the Bringer of War, from The Planets by Holst. It's like the greatest hits of classical music. I can dig it. Major motive is 1 to 5 to flat 5. That reminds me. We did, so a couple of the pieces that we've done this week, we did the Kansas Magnum Opus, had that same theme in it. And the Opeth, the Demon of the Fall, had that theme in it, 1 to 5 to flat 5, and I couldn't really place it. But now with the bum 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 bum, it's Mars. It's from Holst. That's totally cool. That three completely different pieces in a row all do the same general motive, and I think they could have all been influenced by the same classical piece. Cool. This piece is in, 7 different sections. And the first one was called At the Four Corners of the Earth. And then this, I think, is the second section. It's called In the Room of Thrones. Sounds like a late 90s synth pad, doesn't it? I think they were indeed. We're only 4.5 minutes in, and the sounds that we've gotten are so disparate. They've got a wide palette to play with here. I wonder if this is the start of the next section, because it is this a clear change from the real proggy section that was quoting the Mars piece. The meters are interesting. 7/8. But I think there's a 9/8 in there too. All right, the Gathering of Angels. Vocal. Flat 6. Lydia in flat 6. Let's see. Minor 3rd. Lydia on that. Up a half step. There. What was that? That was cool. That was cool. Let me go back. I'm just looking at this a little bit here. The words are, "Feel my wings slowly fading, forever lost in time I cry." I think this is from the perspective of Satan himself. A fall from grace type of thing. There was a time when 9 choirs sang the endless melody of light, music of the spheres. There was a place where mortals embraced thunder and majesty. Their fate lay in our hands. Feeling my wings slowly fading, forever lost in time. I think this is Satan's fall from heaven. Biblical type stuff. Where did I go back to? Okay. Backed up a little bit. This is in D. This is a cool way to get from D to A. To B flat. But a Lydia B flat. To C. Up to E flat. To E. Down to A. Yeah. Five, 8.
The burning conflict I'm feeling, it summons me to descend into the earth.
Now 7, 8.
And just beyond the stars blazing, a beam of light from our Lord's velvet moon illuminates me. How we'll devise from the skies a dark and vengeful day. Faith and mercy gone astray.
Back to the beginning of this section. Love the piano in this. Up a step to E. Just like before.
The mighty sword divides order from chaos in the kingdom below. And from the mansions of glory,
And from the mansions of glory, the empty soul cries out in one final plea.
the end has begun. Our worlds collide. Now in the sky you feel the wrath divine.
Same chromatic third relationship as before. A C minor chord to an E minor chord to an A. Back to D. We're all over the place. This is like follow the Yellow Brick Road type of section. Cool. A flat, diminished. G minor, minor 4. Back to D. Backing synths and pads are all just really nicely mixed. Minor 1, major 4, Dorian mode, still in D, I think. Going down to C. Unsolved Mysteries section of the piece. And then just like Iron Maiden, they went to E minor so the guitar player could play a solo. Maybe that's not exactly why, but that's where they went. Back to C. Chromatic thirds, again. Both those chords have the G natural in common in them. The Prophet's Cry, this is section 5.
From the north, the bringer of war.
The bringer of war. Mars.
Evoke destruction. Summon all at the power of fire. Impending doom from shore to shore.
Summon all who have power over fire.
Standing on the edge of paradise, I sacrifice my truth and loyalty. Deadly sins consume you all and dance with death. I taste the victory. Rising from the north,
okay.
The warrior brings judgment without
little Queen influence there. Up a minor third. Up another minor third. Is that how they did that? Totally cool. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Okay, we're more than halfway in. I'm liking it, actually. More than I think the first one from Symphony X that I did. But this little section, that was cool. Did I get back far enough? No, I didn't. You backed up a little bit. So this is the beginning of the Prophet's Cry. Static chord on D minor. Power D and 4, right?
Evoke destruction. Summon all at the power of fire. Impending doom.
And I think you're playing with minor thirds. So D goes up to F minor, which has an A flat in it. It goes to A flat minor. So the third of the previous chord becomes the root of this chord. Now the third of this chord becomes the root of this chord. Up to D minor. Up to D minor. So they went from F to A flat to B to D. Fully diminished triad. Back to F. cool. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. That's a Dante reference. Right?
Armies fall from the edge of the sky. The Prince of Truth, now the bringer of war.
The Day of Wrath.
The day of wrath.
DSE Ray, right? They're referencing more stuff in the Mass for the Dead.
Dominion, for strength is my name.
There's those same chords they did before. Now it's just the tritone toggle, F to B. It's like they got to the end of this section, they said, hey, play something cool. That'll work. I think this is like the big time battle section. I think this is the bringer of the apocalypse, section 6. Dum, dum, dum. Cool. That's back to those power Ds and Gs, I think. Seven, 8, again an asymmetrical meter. He's throwing all their tricks in, aren't they? Take a second to give kudos to the bass player. The bass player is rock solid, and some of the stuff that he's doing is real tasteful, really nice and melodic. But the transitions between some of these sections can be a little clunky. They're transitioning so quickly. It's like it's jarring a bit. Oh, there's the bringer of war for a second. It's a really symphonic section, isn't it? It almost makes me wish that they had the ability to access some of the live musicians and record that live instead of the patches. The patches from the late 90s sound dated. I made a similar comment to their other piece that we did, and I think it could be really cool to hear that with a live orchestra with those brass instruments down there. Really, really neat. We're going to back up a little bit and keep going. About 5 minutes left, y'all. We're getting there. Power in the brass. Again, more minor thirds. Serious stuff, right? This is apocalyptic, right? What they're referencing. just a double kick drum? That's a sequential pattern. That's totally cool. Can I hear that again? I think I can hear that again. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I want to see if I can figure out that pattern. Should be coming up in a second, I think. F, B flat, A flat, B flat, B, E. Back down to B. Up a fourth, down a whole step. Up a fourth, down a whole step. Up a fourth, down a whole step. Cadence in C. F. We're back in F minor for the first time since the acapella beginning. No. I was wrong. Epic piece. They can't get to the end of a four-measure phrase and just keep going. They're always moving and jiving a bit. They keep switching those minor thirds underneath.
Looking out on the blue sky.
Okay, Paradise Regained. Last
I
section.
can see a new world rising, like a prisoner unbound. I feel the power and the majesty again.
Just straight D minor.
Looking
Lovely.
up to the heavens,
And then the voice part goes up an octave.
I can see what I've left behind beneath the stars, moon, and warm sun. And all I know is my paradise has begun.
Back to power D. F, G. Back to D. Cool. Six, seven, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. What? Why do these guys... Why do they always get to the end? It's like, hey, we're going to end in a completely different spot than where you were expecting us to end. Ta-da! Okay, that last section. We're okay. We got a little bit more time. Looking out on the blue sky, I can now see a new world arising. Like a prisoner unbound, I feel the power and majesty again. There indeed. Now looking up to the heavens, I can see what I left behind.
I can see what I've left behind.
Is this still from Satan's point of view? Because I think now it's like from the standpoint of an earthbound person or being. Beneath the stars, moon, and warm sun, and all I know is my paradise has begun. But they bring back Mars at the very end, so like there's still impending conflict at the end. D up to F, up to G, back to D, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a little quick 3/16 note, little hitch at the end of some of those meters. F, G, A flat, B flat, up to C. We'll walk you all the way up to C and give you that little hint that the bringer of war is still out there. Wow. That one was much more impressive or interesting. Not interesting, but I dug that one more than the first one I did from them. Heavy stuff. I feel like there's a lot of references to the book of Revelation in the Bible, and it has been a long time since I've read any of that stuff because it doesn't make any sense even when you're trying to read it. So, like, why try? A couple things, but this is a longer video. If you're with me to the end, thank you very much. This was fun, right? And I still have a little bit of bourbon left. Thank you, Buffalo Trace. They're not a sponsor, but if they were a sponsor, I would take payment in the form of bourbon. I'm just saying. There's a lot of stuff in this, right? It started off with that quote from the Bach B minor Mass. Threw me for a loop. The last time that I sang that, gosh, it was in like the late 2000s, like the 2007, 8, 9, somewhere in there. We did the B minor Mass. Wonderful, wonderful piece. One of the like big, landmark pieces in all of music history. And the fact that they're using that section of the Creed to start us off is an interesting tip of the hat, right? They're waiting for the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. They're looking for apocalyptical timing, right? And then off we go into the bringer of war, Mars, from Gustav Holst, his suite, the planets. Wonderful, wonderful piece. One of my favorites. And then we get just a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just scrolling through all of the lyrics. And, by the time we get to the end, looking out on a blue sky, right? Earthbound, a blue sky, I can see a new world arising. So like New Jerusalem, is it like heaven on earth? I like a prisoner unbound, I feel the power and majesty again. Does that mean that Satan is ruling earth in this section? I have no idea. Beneath the stars, moon, and warm sun, all I know is my paradise has begun. So whoever's left here, this is their paradise. And I don't know. Y'all help me out. I want to know a little bit more about what you think about this piece. If you've lived with it for a lot longer than I have, what do you think about what it means, what they're trying to tell us, or do you just have some bourbon and just enjoy a long progressive rock song that is pretty fucking cool? Awesome stuff. Woo! Thank you for being with me today. I love these Friday episodes. It feels like they're just a whirlwind, almost like we're going through a book and a whole story, and we get to the end and try to figure out what the experience was. So, cheers, everybody! Happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to mine. We'll see you next week for some more Daily Dougs. Until then, we will see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.